Hey, welcome to Lee Howard's Health and Wellness Podcast. This is podcast 4, The Quantum Human, Part 2, where Lee describes and defines what makes a quantum human. Further Food. They make this outstanding product that I use every day. It's doctor-formulated ultimate immune support, including vitamin D, C, and E, zinc, and elderberry, 18 herbs, and mushrooms. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this in just a sec. In the meantime, Lee's out at 8,700 feet hiking, talking about the quantum human. Let's check in with Lee. All right. Good morning. I'm jumping right back into podcast 4. We're going to keep discussing the quantum human. It's such a large topic. Hard to just leave it aside with an 8-minute explanation. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for listening. This is Lee Howard's Health and Wellness Podcast number 4, The Quantum Human, Part 2. The quantum human is not a jealous person. They have enough. A quantum human is not an envious person. They've got plenty. A quantum human is a good host. They want to make sure you're doing well. A quantum human lives in their own ether of timelessness, whose only calling is to make this world a better place than they found it, on any level they can, even if I have to enter through the diet. And I've just tried to arrange it. It started out with me trying to get a good state job, over years. Never found one. Developed my own self, my own career out of necessity, being a dad. I started 4 separate businesses and called it Lee Howard Productions. I was a chef, I was a musician, full-time, working throughout the Napa and Sonoma Valleys in these great bands. A chef in the Napa Valley, being a father, built a studio, started recording, played in another band in the Bay Area. It was fantastic, this kind of weird Berlin-esque electronic funk, punk, spunk. It was great. Why did I bring all this up? That was the start of the thought of quantum human. If we could just be actualized. Yeah, so the quantum human, connected to nature, is one with nature. Nature is quantum, been dumbed down. We are the most dumbed down population I think that's ever existed on the planet. I would love to have somebody debate me. I saw it in the schools. The lack of context, the lack of history, the lack of life. That the curriculum was dead. I'm not talking about teachers and teaching. There's some great teachers out there. Are you kidding? It's fantastic teachers who take that curriculum and whip it into a life-giving shape. So I just wanted to thank my followers for coming along now and listening to what I have to say. I think I have a lot of cool things to say roll around in my head. I thought TikTok would have been the place to park it, but it's a very narrow swim lane on TikTok, which is in some ways good. I've really had to develop a sort of an innocent character. I'm opening up again. I want to open up my mind. Take all of it in. The thousands of songs I've learned. That's totally affected my consciousness. Are you kidding? To go from a cumbia to a bulería, or to go from a blues song to a funk song. Yeah, I've learned thousands of songs. It's brought so much beauty into my consciousness. You don't just learn songs and forget them. They're in you now. All the great music I've learned, all the Spanish guitar music, the blues music, the funk music, pop music, Herbie Hancock. I learned Chick Corea songs and Return to Forever songs. Yeah, it's all in there. And you might ask, well, Lee, how did you do all this? Discipline, pure and simple. The tears I shed to make all of it work. It was a lot. It wasn't easy. But
the silver lining was I stayed true to myself. I didn't back down. I stood my ground. I said honesty, fair-mindedness, live a quantum life, not a life of degradation and diminishment. It's about expansion.
All right, Lee Howard's Health and Wellness, podcast for the Quantum Human, part 2. I'm starting to like doing these talks with you while I walk. Seems like the perfect combination. Hey, I wanted to thank you for tuning in to my podcast and giving it a listen and maybe hear some thoughts you hadn't heard before. Yeah, we're defining, understanding what the quantum human is. It's a practice, that's for sure. Do you practice your Judaism all the time? Practice to call yourself a Christian or a Jew or a Buddhist. I know a lot of Christians who are only Christian on Sunday. I know a lot of Jewish folk, good friends of mine, who are only Jewish on Yom Kippur and Passover.
Spiritual practices require that you practice them. Whether you're a Jew or a Christian or a Buddhist or a Sufi or a quantum human is a spiritual practice. It's an activity, a practical way to get through life in a stoic, appreciative, grateful way. And that's the thing, the quantum human is aware of the time they're living in. They're of their time. They may not be in the world, but they're better to prepare the mind. You don't want to lose your mind. Like that MSNBC reporter who lost his mind, got suited up with his guns and his belts and his suit and his helmet and said, I'm sick of it. I'm going to Ukraine to fight the Russians. Yes, you lost your mind, sir. You have lost your mind. You were a journalist. You should go over there and report the truth back to us. Because of the health crisis of the last 2 years, I did a deep dive on what the immune system is. What makes it function? Where is it? Where is it found in the human body? What is its role? And it turns out it is the most important part of our defense mechanisms, okay? Why hasn't anyone ever told us about this before? All of these viruses and diseases are all autoimmune deficiency diseases. What does that mean? You should just strengthen your immune system, especially during the flu season. My podcast, I like to discover new products put out by local, home-based, small businesses here in the country, localized economies. This is a woman's-based business. They call themselves Further Food. This is a doctor-formulated ultimate immune support, including vitamin C, D, and E, zinc, and elderberry, 18 herbs and mushrooms. Now, this supports healthy respiratory and immune functionality. Be well. We take immunity further. Meet your ultimate immune support. This is doctor-formulated with 27 herbs, mushrooms, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your immune system all year long. Try it. It's a woman's-based business based here in this country. Further Food. You can find them on Amazon. Try it. Let me know what you think. I use it every day.
An ascendant human being. I'd like to talk about the mind. So often gets left out of the discussion of the human body. We're all so focused on the brain now. Everything's about the brain. Serotonin and dopamine and what makes the brain happy. What makes people happy is being human. Rule 1, connectivity with other humans. We're primates, after all. Yeah. You take that away, you socially distance people, you shut their minds down, you mask them up so people can't see each other's faces. But I'm quantum.
I'm beyond nation states. I'm beyond history and time. All I ask is they get out of my sunlight. Okay? Media, get out of my sunlight. You create a real dark world of people living in caves, the bottom of factories. That's the kind of world you like. And sometimes I ask myself, well, maybe humanity is the problem. Why should I care so much? Well, I care about you. I care about you specifically. I don't even know who you are, but I care about you. I like to think. I like to assimilate. I come up with my own philosophy. For instance, essentialism. It meets all 5 criteria of a philosophy. It's got an axiology. It's got a cosmology. It's got a cosmogony. It's got an epistemology. How do I know where I get the information from? It's got a mythos. And it's got codes of ethics, codes of being. Right? You don't screw another man's wife. Okay? You don't lie and cheat. If you commit to someone, you commit to someone. You commit to a song, you commit to a band, you commit to a marriage, you commit to a kid. You commit to them. Quantum Human. Quantum Human is not afraid to love. They know that love is is the engine of all life. Call it love, okay? Love and water are so similar. Let's call it love, shall we? Since we all agree on what it is. But it's more than that. It's more than that. It's something from a higher transmission, a higher cosmosphere. Yeah, essentialism doesn't include intoxication. You're not toxed out. You're always cleansing. You're always secreting goodness. You filled in the holes with new blessings. A new beginning has started for you. Yes, we're in the age of the great revealing. I discovered that the way I was raised was corrupted by bad thinking and bad management. I had to construct myself. Very early on, I jumped off Christianity. I didn't want them telling me I'm going to hell. As a 12-year-old, I'm like, come on, I got my whole life ahead of me. I couldn't speak like that in those days, and I loved singing the church songs. So fun. I got dunked and baptized, and I turned my back on it. But you'll hear me allude to the language of great healers, whether it be Christ or Buddha or Rumi or, Anais Nin. As long as their words make sense to me, I'll repeat them to you. Oh, and darling, podcast 4, Quantum Human, defined, comma. What we're heading towards is what's called transhumanism. The WEF crowd, the Davos crowd, this World Economic Forum, the Nazis running this global show right now, they want humans gone. They want us merged with machines. TikTok will be embedded into your body. Quantum Human rose out of that in response. Wait a second, I don't want to become a machine. I'll use machines. I like machines. But I love my humanity. She's so soft and cuddly and wonderful and brave and strong and smart. My podcast tends to be extemporaneous, improvisational. I'm a musician after all, so I'm gathering all this information from throughout my life and trying to sum it up so maybe I can help you. Maybe you will become optimized and actualized and live in your own ether of healthiness and freedom. I'm not a cult. I know some of this may sound cultish. It's not a cult. I'm just a friend stopping in. Your big fucking friend stopping by for a cup of coffee and a chat. Bringing some thoughts back from the spirit world
Yeah, the quantum human. This is my response to transhumanism. I don't want to merge with machines. I like the warmth of my humanity. Quantum human. Thanks for joining me. Lee Howard's Health